Hello everyone. I'm Vikas Kooneti. I've I'm currently a postgraduate. I've just completed my postgraduate from University of Aberdeen in petroleum energy economics and finance. And currently I'm working with a startup company in Aberdeen as a petroleum energy economist. I have been a part of SP since last 4 to 5 years, and since my university, and I was the president for SP University of Consortium chapter, as well as I was active in various other SP events. Currently I'm part of SP YP London. I have been working with Python in different projects and have a 3 years experience in Python around the advanced level of Python, working with different sets of algorithms and machine learning and AI techniques. I've been mostly focusing on data science and machine learning for energy calculations and techniques. My expertise is in decline curve analysis for reservoir engineering. I've been part of SP GeoHackathon since last year. I've been a part of the committee and associated with other members. So today I would be discussing upon the basics of Python, a very general basics, which maybe somebody who has no knowledge of Python can get an understanding on what's Python. So we would discuss different things in Python, which are basically what's Python, why do we use it, what are the stages of Python, what are the essential elements in Python. So I would just give a brief give a brief discussion of what are the stages of Python, and then we will discuss about different IDEs, and then I would just show what's the preferable IDE for data science, and then for this SP GeoHackathon and for the other bootcamp session, we will be using Google Colabs. I think many of you are familiar with Google Colabs. So Google Colabs is kind of a very interactive tool. It's an online platform. It's supported by Google, and it's similar to Jupyter Notebook. So we would be using that for our demonstration here, and maybe even the other upcoming bootcamps sessions on machine learning and other Python programming sessions. Apart from that, I would just give a brief on what's the difference between Python and what's the difference between other programming languages, why Python is more preferable for a beginner who enters into programming, and why it's more preferable for data science and machine learning and algorithms. Apart from that, I would be discussing on this would be a more like a study, like a practical session. So I'll just go with the basics. Just initially starting with the data types, then I would be discussing logical statements, and then I would be discussing on functions, and just give a brief on what's libraries and how do we import libraries, how do we play around with them. So this would give a very brief understanding of individuals of what is Python, how do we use it, and how you can start yourself getting involved with Python. The main thing is Python is kind of heavy. I mean, there are many things in Python. You have a lot of libraries and a lot of functions and many things. So it's not possible to cover everything in one small session. But the basics, the main fundamentals, which give a proper understanding, and then later on, with the self-learning, you can go and seek your own way and get into learning the stuff in Python. We'll be discussing about that. So yeah, let me just stop.
Vikas, can you please unmute yourself?
Can you hear me now, David?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so basically, yeah. So today's session we just cover on introduction of Python, a very basic understanding of the basic tools of Python. People who are familiar with Python, I think this is something that they really know it very well. So yeah, let's get started, guys. Uh, yeah. So what is Python and why do we use Python? Why can't we use other techniques? And I mean, why are we so fond of Python? So Python is a very interactive, easy, integrated programming language. You have many free resources. It's a simplified syntax. You have many libraries which make your life easy, which make your calculations easy, which makes your programming tool, which makes your code and your solutions give a better results. It's a easy syntax. You can embed it is multi-purpose. You can link Python with different other programming languages. Well, that's at a very high advanced level, but yeah, the benefit of this is, again, you can do many things with Python. You can use it for data science, you can use it for web development, for application development, for research, and a lot more techniques in different areas as well. Python is kind of very useful. In energy industry, we use it a lot for simulations and for mostly many of the things. And yeah, basically it's open source. It's an open source platform, so any issues you have, you get a lot of solutions online. And it's a dynamic semantic, so the techniques are not that hard compared to other programming languages. So that's very important to know, because Python is kind of a very simple way we're gonna uh, work on with, rather than you need to learn too much and then gets hard to work on. So again, when we see what's Python, like, is it a compiler language? Is the interpreter language? So we say Python is an interpreter language where you just run the code and you get the results. Whereas a compiler language is kind of a, you need to run a whole set of the code and then you need to change it into a machine code and then you get the results. So it's kind of hard. So compiler mostly is in C and C++, whereas for Python, it's an interpreter language. So that's the reason you can just do any statement and you get a quick result here. Now the Python journey. I mean, this is something very important to learn. I mean, I'm just discussing as a data science in a data science field, but but in Python journey is the first 3 4 stages are same in every other specific area, but for data science, the basics are very important. So if you are new to Python, you don't know what's Python, then yeah, you need to know what are the data types, what is an IDE, what are the statements, what are the logical statements, and how do they work, what are the functions we use, and what are the other functions we apply. So these are something very important to know, have a good knowledge. These are the base foundation for to work with Python. At the intermediate stage, you once you are good with your basics, you can easily work on decision making, data handling, OOP, which is object oriented programs, and then libraries. So yeah, obviously libraries are something which are very useful. I mean, that's the reason Python has a very big support, because you have a number of libraries, and libraries are built in different languages and they are added to Python. So it's just kind of very interactive. Then you go to advanced stage where you have recursive functions, you have database interaction. So you can link your Python code with data servers, let's say SQL, MySQL, and that would be very easy for individuals to share your data and work with other platforms. Similarly, you can link your Python code or your Python script with business intelligence tool like Power BI and Tableau. They make to get a better BI results and work more efficiently. You can do decorators and memorizations. When you're working with the complex algorithms and statistics testing, Python is kind of very useful. So that's the advanced stage. Well, at the advanced stage, you need to have a lot of knowledge of many libraries, different types of methods, different types of calculations, algorithms. You need to have hand-on experience on basics, how you can simplify your basics rather than typing too much and working on a too much noise of the code. So that's the advanced stage. Then coming to industry specific, so if we are from the energy industry, so if you have a real-time data, so to create any kind of a simulation to method or getting a prediction models, you can work in with Python. So in industry specific, as an industry specific, if you have the data, if you have, like, let's say a production data, you can predict how good the well is producing, and what's the rate of the well, what's the production type, and a lot more things related to industry specific. Then using industry specific calculations. So if in the petroleum industry you have Darcy's equations, so this is just as an example. Darcy's equations can be applied, and you can get different results based on a simplified techniques. Then solving and handling complex problems related to industrial projects. So if you have um, if you have heavy calculations, let's say the reservoir characteristic calculations, and they're kind of hard to program in different softwares, you can create your own codes in Python and then run them. So that becomes a bit more easier for you. So that's the fourth stage, or you can say the industry specific stage, where you have a good knowledge from the basics, intermediate, and advanced, and then you get a good understanding of your subject as well. So this is very important. You need to have good knowledge on Python as well as a good knowledge on your industry to get a good results for at that stage. Then coming to the fifth stage, which is basically the main thing, which is currently the trend, which is the artificial intelligence and machine learning development, and other stuff, deep learning and all that. So here you can once you have these knowledge, you can start developing and testing AI models, ML models. So you have different libraries for that. You use Keras, you use TensorFlow techniques. These are very you use heavy data, you use different data sets, you use image processing to run a model, to predict a model, to understand the image, to make automated models. You need to have that stage. So yeah, that's a advanced stage. I mean, that's a stage where you have a complete knowledge of Python, maybe with a very good understanding of your subject and how to do models, algorithms, predictions, and everything. Then the last stage, which is obviously you are the freak, or you can say you're the Greek, is the Python, or you can say integrating with multiple programming language. Once you are thorough in Python, then yeah, it would be easy for you. You become a full stack developer, and then you start learning and gaining a knowledge with other programming languages, and that becomes easy for you. At this stage, you integrate Python with different other codes, with different other codes, and with different other programming languages. So to build an application, or to build a website, or to build a any programming tool which has a different kind of languages, you can interact with that. Also, at that stage, you can develop your own library, which can help, which can be subject specific. So that's a very high level of Python. Well, people in the data science, or people who are data scientists, they are quite familiar at that stage with learning with different models and techniques. So that's what is the life of, I mean, the Python journey you expect. After that, you can even do a lot more different techniques, get into blockchain, do some automatic predictions, a lot more things. Yeah, yeah. So Python, like now, so before we start, before I run this same thing coming. My bad. Sorry. Actually, it's not Python journey, but this is the platforms we use. So the IDEs, or we say the integrated platforms which we use for running our codes, right? So Python can be programmed on different IDs and operating systems. So generally, we all use Windows, Mac, and we all use Windows, Mac, and Linux. So Python is good with that. I mean, you have no issues running Python in any kind of operating system. At the same time, for running Python, you can use different IDEs. You can use different studios, but the most preferred ones for data science is Jupyter and Spider. Well, because it's quite a kind of very interactive. You get built-in libraries, built-in packages. So it's kind of easy method. You can, some people even use PyCharm. and other platforms, but yeah, Jupyter is an easier one. So even for this session, and even for the upcoming sessions, people would be using Jupyter or the Colab. So Colab is a part of Google. It's similar to Jupyter. It's just it's similar to Jupyter. It's similar to Jupyter Notebook. So, but it's a web. It's supported by Google. So we would be using Google Colab for this session. Apart from that, we can even know how do we download Anaconda. So I mean, Anaconda is something where you have different IDs. You get that. So for Anaconda, to download Anaconda, we just go to Anaconda server website. Just download Anaconda. Download the Anaconda and just run the setup. Once you get the setup, you get Anaconda at your start or your desktop, and then once you get that, you can just run Anaconda Navigator, select Jupyter Notebook, and your Jupyter Notebook appears. Or else you can, if you're lucky enough to come to run it directly, you can even get Jupyter Notebook and you can get Jupyter directly.
Because you went on mute. You went mute again. Can you please unmute yourself? We still can't hear you. Yes, now should be okay.
Is it okay now? Java, can you hear me now? Is it okay?
Yes, yes, it's okay.
All right, yeah. Yeah, so to get Google Collabs, it's more simple. You just go to your drive, select a new folder for yourself, give it a name, just right click, and you get this Dropbox, and just select more and get just click Google Collab. If you don't have Google Collab, you can just go to connect more apps, and you can just install Google Collab, and you get Google Collab directly on your drive. This is kind of very uh, interactive and useful because you can share this with other colleagues as well directly rather than sharing it directly with the server.
Because you're mute again.
Is it okay now?
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. So yeah, guys, let's go to. So now let's start with the code now. I would just stop it here, but I mean, I'll just give a brief what I would be showing today, and then we would go to the Google Colab platform. Yeah, so we have just discussed on how do we install Python. Do you have sorry, how do you install Python? Sorry, how do you install Anaconda? And then what's Google Colab and Google Jupyter Notebook here? We have understood. I've just described what's interpreted and compiled programming languages. So now we start with the basics, the data types, and then we go with go with logic statements. Then we go with functions, and just to understand more deeply, we just go with a simple simple example like a calculator or a simple logic statement code.
We lost you because
Yeah, yeah. Can you see the Google Colab page?
yes, we can see the Google
Yeah,
Cloud.
perfect. Thanks. Yeah, I don't know. It was not coming. So yeah, guys. I would not go directly with print because I need to discuss. So yeah. So let's start with a very basic stuff. So I'll just, I mean, we are using Google Colab, so it's kind of very interactive and easy. I would just put a small heading and start with well, let me delete this one. Right. So here you have the option of code and you have option of text. So if you want to write a text, you can just click text and you can. So if you give a hash, it's like a heading. And if you give a star, you can even make it a bold one. So yeah. So yeah, intro to Python week SP 2022. So let's start with numbers. I mean, again, as I said, a very basic understand what's a number and how do we use that. I mean, how do we do calculation? That's simple. So I just put 5, we run 5. Yeah. But if I want, let's say, addition, 5 plus 6, 5 plus 7, something like that, and so you have some shortcuts, control plus enter, you can directly instead of pressing the play button. So it's a general, just general calculation. We can even do multiplication, any kind of such things. 5 was at 20, I guess. So yeah, I mean, this is just numbers, or you can even say this as integers. Then we go, so we do I divide by 2, we get 2.5. So we get 2.5, we get 2.5. So this is a float statement, right? So this is not we want, if we only want 2, we can just put a double tag and then we get a simple 2. So this is because this is currently an integer. So if you convert an integer to a float, you get 2.5. So because you get a decimal place, so you get 2.5. But if you just want a single value, single number, you uh, this way and you get 2. Javed?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So double slash and you get 2. Yeah. So I mean, this is like a basic numbers we can use. I mean, to just have an understanding. But this won't be possible, or this won't be the same in terms of name or any kind of text you're gonna write. So if I say SP Geo Hackathon, I would have an issue saying the invalid syntax. So what would the issue be like? What am I doing? What's wrong? I mean, here I could use integers. Right, I put a 5, I get a 5, and I can do calculations. But when I try, it's not working. So the here now what do we do is for numbers? Yeah, we can do it because it's an integer. There's a direct flow here. But for a text or to comment something, we need to use strings. So let's start with strings. I mean, strings are something where you use a single quote or double quote, which is basically we're just going to give a name or you're just going to enter it as a string. So a string is kind of very important element. I mean, whenever we are trying to run something, if we have this issue of single quote or double quote, our program doesn't work and you get an error. So we should always see this issue of strings is always a problem. So let me just start with, I think this should run now. So yeah, you get SP Geo Hackathon. Yeah, because you have made this cell as a string, so it works now. So that's how basically a string works. Now, if I say I want to do a bit like kind of concatenating it with different things, concatenating integer and the string, then I'll try to run another code and say audit. I will just concatenate it with the around this session. What has happened? Why is it not working? So the type error says you can only consent it string, not integer. So there's a problem with this integer. So this is an integer and this is a string. So we need to convert our string. So we need to convert our integer to string. So we use str bracket. Now it should be fine. Oh, no. I didn't give a space, so we got it. So yeah. So whenever, I mean, when we are writing strings, sometimes we have this uh, issue like you try to write a string, but you add an integer and try to run it, it doesn't come up. So whenever we are trying to add an integer, we need to convert it to a string and then run it at this point and this way. So these are the start. So we have started the data types, and this is the main initial data type which we are trying to. So control B. Yeah. Now, if I want to write some text, say let's say SPG or hackathon into 50 times or 20 times or whatever, I would use my integer multiplied my string, which is this one, and I would just say 20 or 25 multiplied by my string, or multiplied by my integer. So I would get my SPGO hackathon into 25 times or anything like that. So these are just to understand what's a string like and how we use strings and why strings are important. Then later on, when we work with the functions, we would discuss how strings are used in different methods and how we use print statement, return statement, and how they are how they're combined with other data types, and we get different results. So let me just say again 25 multiplied. Engineers. Yeah. So I have multiplied my integer and my string. But if I have to concatenate, if I have to combine both, I have to convert my integer to a string here. Now let's do one thing and add add a name to our string, or add a value to our string. So we will discuss now on variables. Sorry guys. Sorry about that, guys. I was just seeing that there are some questions. There is no sound. Sound, yeah. Why we did not change the mode? Yeah, we did that. Moment data. Data stage. Sorry. Sorry guys. If you have questions, please put it up in the chat box. I forgot to mention this. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, let's work on variables now. So we're gonna give we're gonna give the storage for our string. So variables are containers for storing data values or storing strings. So at the initial stage, to understand yeah, so at this stage, to understand a string and a variable, we'll just go with a very simple example again. So I would say 3 plus 3, obviously we would get a 3 plus 3 is a 6. But if I give a definition, if I give a name to 3 and then I say 3, let's say x, okay, and I'll say x is equals to 3. Then I'll say x plus 3. How would x? No, sorry, Mohammed. Your question is reliable, correct, but we are not concatenating. We are not concatenating 25 multiplied by SP engineers. So we want SP engineers 25 times. So you multiply your integers with your string. If I want, okay, so I'll show you. If I am concatenating my I'm combining this one, but this one I want SPE into 25 times. So if I put 25 plus SPE, and if I do it this way, the way you are asking, I would get 25 SPE engineer or something like that. Or there's an issue with oh. So you guys see 25 SP engineers. I don't want 25 SP engineers. I want 25 times SP engineers. So SP engineers 1, 2, 3, like SP engineers into 25 times. So I say 25. So integers multiplied by string, you get your string into the number of times you multiply your integer. So if I say 25 multiplied by SP engineers, so I get SP engineers into 25 times. So this is, I'm not converting my string. I want my string, sorry, I'm not converting my integer. I just want to multiply my integer into 25 times. So multiply my string into 25 times. So I multiply my string with my integers to get a 25 times of my string. So that's how I have done here. So if I want to concatenate a whole integer, and yeah, great, thank you. Yeah, so guys, we were at variables, right? So yeah, so as I said, I said 3 plus 3, so integer plus integer, I get definitely a 6. Yeah, perfect. But if I want to name my x is equal to 3, so I am giving a name to my integer, or I'm giving a variable. So variable is, again, as I said, it's just storing my value. So x is 3, so x plus 3, I should get 6. Yeah, I got 6. And x plus 8, I would get 11. X multiplied by 8, 3 multiplied by 8, 24. So I have given x is equals to. So this boolean things we would be discussing later stage. There are different types of boolean. So there's a equals to, then there is equals to, there is greater or equals to. So we would be discussing that in the later stage of this session. But to store our value into a variable, we just use x is equals to 3, and then we run that way. Javed, can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool, thanks. I know there was some disturbance. Yeah. So this was with value. This was with integers, right? Now, if I want to do with a text or with a variable, what do I do? So I would say SPE hackathon is equals to the geothermal, right? Now, what I do is I would just enter geothermal, and I should get geothermal as my output. You see? So again, I have done the same thing, but if I don't use as a string, I get nothing. There'll be an error. Yeah, it's not defined. So you need to define it with a string, right? That's important, right? So then what we do is to understand. So again, as I said, string is a type of an array where it's like you started, this is G is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it's a string, you're combining the whole thing. So it has, let's say, geothermal has uh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words. So if I just want a single alphabet, let's say I just want T, right? Or H or something like that, I would do indexing. So if I say SPE hackathon and square bracket, I would just say 3. I would get either I would get T. Uh, I would not get O, because in computing language it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, whereas we just go from 1 to 3. So I would expect a T. I don't know. Didn't I name? I think there's a spelling error. Yeah, you see, I get a T. And if I say, sorry about this. I get Geo, but it doesn't go till T because it just goes before T. And if I put 4, I get Geothermal. And I got a 8 plus Geothermal. And if I put a minus now, so in the other ways it goes in a minus, so 0, -1, -2, -3, -4. I get O. So yeah, this is how you can do indexing. This is quite important when you have a large set of data and you're trying to work with a heavy library and you don't want a whole big string, you just want one part of it, so you can use this way. So now I would just describe one more thing as a list. So I've not yet started lists, but I would just I don't know where this is coming. Yeah. So just to give a brief or understand what's a variable, x is equals to 3, which is an integer. So I put hash integer just for to understand the name, and I would say y is equals to a string. Sorry, y is hackathon, which is a string, right? So if I say x plus y should be my output, what would happen? It's not working because an integer and a string can't be added, right? So I would just say I would get the same thing like the one I showed earlier. So yeah, again, I have just changed my integer to string and I have concatenated it, so I get this as an output. Now we go to list. So here we have done strings and we have done variables. Oh, I didn't put a heading. Sorry about that. Now again we go to lists. So lists are something, let's say, is you store multiple items. It's like it's a big box. You store many things in a single box, like multiple items in a single variable. You just kind of store it. So it's just list. So our list is represented by square brackets. Javed?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, is it okay?
Yeah. You muted yourself now.
Oh, okay. Now it's fine. Yeah. So let's start with lists. I would just say, yeah. So I'm starting with a square bracket, and because I'm going to describe integers, I would say SP hackathon. This is one element, and I would say geothermal, my second element, and then I would say Python, which is my third element, right? And I would say run. So this is my list now. I have a list, but I want only one thing. So let's say I have a box and there are three things in the box. I just want one element from the box. So how do I take it? How do I, if I want only SP GeoHackathon from this list, how do I select it? So I would just go square bracket. I mean, copy this. And then I give another square bracket. And as I said, just index it to 0, you get SP GeoHackathon. Index it to 1, you get geothermal. Index it to 3, well, we have nothing. So it says it's an error. List index out of range. So that's it. Yeah, so 2, I get Python. So I mean, if I want a specific thing from a list, this is how I do. I just index it to the value I want, which is 2, and that's it. I run it this way. Now, if I want to name it with something, so if I would say, uh, let's say we are learning Python. I just want to add that as a string. How do I do it? I'll again do the same trick which I've done earlier. Let's say what I've done earlier is called concatenating. I would say I am learning us. Now what I do is I add my string here. Sorry, I add my list here, which is my this square bracket box, and I'll just say Python, right? So I'll just give index 2, and my out should be I am learning Python. Yeah, just give bracket here. I'm learning Python. Yeah, so you have added, I mean, concatenated your string with your list. So that's how you have done, right? So this is a list. So in the later stage, we're gonna work with different other things. Oh, one second. So sorry about that, guys. Oh yeah, in the later stage, we're gonna work with other different other elements of Python. So we're gonna discuss a bit more about lists and brief it with other things. Now we would enter to another data type, which is called tuples. So it's similar to list, but there's a difference. Tuples are more like it's the same thing, but they are immutable, whereas lists are mutable. So I'll just say how we do this. So in Python, the good part is like if you want to work direct, I mean, if you want to use it as a list, you can use it as a list, or even if you have you have different functions of tuple Python list, tuple string and list, you can add that as well and then convert it to whatever you want. So I go for tuples, and let's say I would give again a name A as equals to. So for tuples, we use parentheses. We don't use square brackets. And I would say the same thing again, something new. Python energy, energy fossil, and yeah. Now I want A. I'll just type A, and I'll get all this as output. But again, if I just want single value, or if I just want energy or fossil, I would just give it A is equals to 2, and I just get fossil. So it's a immutable function. It's different to list. So I think I have used the same parenthesis, so I've converted to. Yeah, I've just indexed my tuple, and I've got two as my. I've got the from my tuple. I have got a second index, so a second part, the second element, which is fossil. Javed, can you hear me?
Yes. Now you're mute.
Is it okay now? I don't know. It's not. Javed?
Yes, because it's okay now.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this was tuples. So the difference with lists and tuples is I've just this is mutable and this is immutable, and we give a different variable here and a different variable. We give a variable here. Here we don't give any variable. We directly take our element from the list directly. Now we go to another data type, which is called dictionaries. This is a bit tricky because it's kind of you need to quote everything properly. You need, so if you're let's do it rather than right. So if I say uh, I have a set of data which is for dictionaries. By the way, we use different again. We use braces, which is something not similar, not looks similar to square brackets, but this is a different one. So if we have to name a data, so let's say company name is called Energy Limited, right? So we are just storing the data in a key. So this is the whole set of the whole storing. We are storing it in a single key, and then we run it. We get it in a different output, and then I say roll something. This is servicing. Now here everything is a string. We are not converting anything. So it's a string to string and string. So yeah, and then operation period. I would say 5 years. Uh, Here it's the whole. We are doing it in a single dictionary, so we won't have issue uh, with the value. And now if I run this, I'll just some issue here. Oh, sorry. So yeah, now it's fine. So the company name is Energy Limited. So already have given a variable inside to the key as a key. So its company is Energy Limited, role as a service, and operation period as 5 years. And I run this. So yeah, that's okay. Now if I just want again a simple just the company name, or I would just want operation period, what do I do? I would just okay, I would just copy the whole thing. You can even do any different shortcuts, but should I put two? No, not two. I would say company. Run. So I should get Energy Limited, right? And if I say role, I should get service, right? So this is how I'm adding a dictionary. These are very important when we try to work with different data types or different when we use libraries and we work with data. Sometimes we use dictionaries rather than tuples, rather than lists, because if we want to use it as a key value or key variable, we use dictionaries. But it's up to every individual how what makes them more easier as a data type for them. Uh, Now we will be using the Boolean and the logic operators, which are basically the equals to, greater than, or less than functions. These are very important because if we want to give an understanding of a logic to the machine or to the program, we need to give equals to or greater than or lesser than. So if I start with a very simple understanding, 15, so this is again an integer, is lesser than or equals to 5. Sorry, yeah. So I should get false, right? Because it's not. So I get a false statement. So um, yeah, no, it's okay. Sorry, Javed, can you?
Yes, we can hear you.
No, no. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, 15 less equal 5.
Now is it okay? Right? Sorry about this, guys. It's just some issue with my.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so obviously 15 is not 5 is lesser, right? Sorry, 15 is not equals to or less than. So if I say 15 is equals to 15, I would get a true statement. No, yes, no. So sorry about that. I'll double. So equals to. So in Boolens, uh, if we have to say 15 is equal to, if we have to say a value is equals to other value, we use equal symbol. If 15 is greater than 16, I should get a false. But if 15 is greater than 14, I should get true. So these are important functions. We can directly use it in a logic statements. In later stage, we will work on that. And if I say 15 does not equals to, this is 15 is equals to 15, so I'll get a true. But if I say 15 is not equals to 15, how do I do that? I would just use, and so it gives me a false statement. But if I say 15 is not equals to 16, then this is true, right? So I should get a false. So yeah. Yeah, but here if we just say 15 is equals to 16 with a single is equals to mark, we know this won't work because we can't say an integer to an integer unless and unless. But if I want x as a value, a variable to be 16, that's possible. And then if I say x is equals to or x run x, I would get x as a 16, right? So in Boolens, if you want to give a if we want to say a value is equals to other value, we can't use just one equals to sign. We use two equals to sign. So yeah. Or else if we want to say is not equals to, we use an exclamatory mark. and say is not equals to, I say 15 does not equals to 17. It should be a true value. Right, so let's try to run an example. So let's do an example. Let's say, wait, let me do it in other side. 16, I should get a false. So yeah, so let's do an example. As a production rate, so prod rate is equal to 500, or I'll just put rate. Rate is equals to 500, and I would say hours is equals to 8 hours. Right now, if I want to say this is a logical statement, if I have to run this, how do I do it? I say rate is equals to 500 500 hours is equals to 8, and I would say how do I say my rate is greater than 500. If I run this statement, would I get? I think I'll get some valid. Or I would just give it in a different way. And not rate is equals to 500. Or I'll say, or I'll try to do this again, or we do it in the later stage. This one, because I'm not able to this properly. And I would use another function now, as called not a rate, which is greater or equals to in this 400, not hours, greater than 9. Wrong statement. As the rate is greater than is equals to 400 and hours is equals to 8. This should work. Yes, it's false, right? So here I'm just saying that my rate is 400, which is wrong, and my hours are 8 hours, which is wrong. So as a statement, as a logic statement, I'm just trying to say that this statement is different. So it's like I'm giving an operand as 400 is the rate and hours are 8. So it's not true because my rate is 500 and hours are 7. But if I say rate is 500 and I'll say hours are 7, so it's true, right? Now if I, so that's and, right? So if I say 500 is the rate and hours is equals to 7, then yes, that's true. But if I say, let's say the rate is 500 and hours are 7, I'll use or. as a logic variable or as a function. So it's true. So this is true. Okay, no, wait, let's change 6. So I should get true because my rate is at least 500 or my hours should be 6. So if my hours are not the same as the given one, but my rate is same, so the value comes as true. The output is true. So this is a logic operator which we can say, to which we use and or sometimes not. So I was trying to do that earlier, but there was some I think I did some mistake with this boolean thing, so it did not work that time. So if I say again now because I have one of my argument is correct, so the other argument is wrong, that's fine because I'm using or. So if I say my rate is 500, which is correct, but my hours are 6, which is wrong, that's fine. But if I change my rate is 600 and my hours are 6 hours, then I should get a false statement. But if I say my hours are 7 and my rate is 6, still I should get a true. So this is a logic expression we're trying to run here. It's not working. Yeah, guys. So questions. So this is the logical expression I'm trying to give at this stage. It's just more making it a bit more interactive at an understanding level of when you try to make a decision statement or a logical statement. So I would just, I forgot to add this as boolean. Yeah. So I finished this. Now we would use not. So if I say not means my argument is that the rate is not 500. So I would say not rate, comma, not hours. So I should get one true and one false, or one false and one true at this way. So yeah. So it's not 600. So here I'm giving an expression which is not 600, but here I'm giving an expression which is 7. So the not function or the not argument is says that no, the value is wrong. But if I say this is 9, then I should get 2 trues. See, because this is not hours, so this is not the number which is this. But if this is the same number, I would get it as a false. So here I'm just giving an argument, a logical argument to my value, to my code, saying that no, it's not 600. So correct, it's not 600, it's 500. No, it's not it's 700, but it's not 700. It says no, it is 700, so it's false. It's 7. Sorry, not 7 hours. So not 7 hours. So my computer says no, it is 7 hours. So your statement it's wrong. So this is how we try to run. I mean, these are kind of logic expressions we're trying to give. This gives understanding of how we are going to give a variable, and if we want to say my variable is correct or wrong, and or if I do it this way, it's trying to. So now I should get false, false, most probably, right? Yeah. So here I'm just trying to play around with my Boolean values and try to change, try to make it a bit more complex, so that my understanding of this statement or this expression should match with this expression. So not rate, not 600, which is false. Not rate, not 600 means no, it is not, but yes, it is. So it's a false. No, it is not 600. So here I'm saying no. So my statement here is no. So I'll say rate is not 600, but rate is not 600. So I say it false. But if I say rate is equals to not 600, I get a true. Yes, it's not 600, it's 500. So if I put 500, still I get a false, right? Because I'm saying it's not 500. No, it is 500. So I say equals to 500. So I get a true false. So it's just when we are trying to do a logical argument, we're just trying to understand what argument are we giving to the variable and getting it as an output now. So let's go to another trick. I mean, this is up to individuals. Uh, we can also use binary Boolean values. We can even use binary operator values, but that's kind of a bit complex. I mean, if you're good with binary numbers or have an understanding of binary, we can use that. So my argument here is 12 and 13. So my output should be, is it 12 or 13? So my binary value would say it's 12, because if you do the binary calculations, the answer would be 12. So that's the reason using binaries as an operator values would be a bit more confusing. So instead of this, we just use and or not and these values, rather than creating it, making it a bit more complex at this stage. Now after this period, I would just go for another. So here I have covered most of the data types. There are 2 or 3 which is sometimes we don't need, but uh, with learning Python in a later stage, we'll get to know it's a set or range. By the way, range we would be discussing in a later stage. Now I would be talking more on logical or logic statements. Here we would use if, else, or elif as our arguments for a logical statement. So this is kind of a bit interactive, but we need to see how it goes. I mean, how it goes with the functions we work on. I would say oil price, or just let me make it a single variable, is equals to 60. So now my oil price is equals to 60, right? So if I have to make a decision saying that my oil price is 60, and say it's profitable or it's not profitable, or let's say if the oil price is 60, then it's fine, it's profitable. But if my oil price is 40, it's not profitable. If my oil price is 80 or above, it's just a good value. So something like that, right? So if I want to do that, I'll be using a logical statement where I'll be using if value, and say if oil price is greater than so here I'm using this Boolean thing, which is the operator value here, 245 something something something, let's say this way, some wrong value. I mean, it's unaccepted, that's not possible, right? So I would say print. So print is again a function which we want to say if this is the value, my answer should be wrong, or I'll say just say this is not correct. Say some issue. Yeah, so if oil price is greater than 24,425, then my output should be wrong, obviously. But again, this is just not one condition, I'm giving another condition as well, right? So if I say some issue here, okay, yeah, sometimes the spacing is a bit issue. So else, or I'll say elif, or else my oil price is greater or equal to 50, let's say, and I'll be expecting If it's greater than 50, then I'll say price is accepted, or yeah, that's better. And then elif, or let's say or else if anything below 50, or it automatically gets the argument that anything below this number would not be profitable. So I'll say else print not acceptable. Let's say that would be the minimum. So I would expect price is acceptable because I've kept it as a 60, my oil price. But if I make it 10, the price is not acceptable. And if I write something like this is not correct, right? So I'm giving a logic, or I'm telling the Python that if my oil price is so and so, this is wrong. If my oil price is so much, it's fine. If my oil price, or else it's not accepted. So it automatically understands that what I'm trying to say. So anything above 50 is accepted, but anything above this value is not accepted. This is wrong. Anything below 50 the price would not be acceptable. So I'm just giving a logic statement at this stage so that my code should understand what I'm trying to do. I'll do another similar example on this one, which says gas price is equals to 1, and then I'll say if gas price is greater than 3, print profit. Here I've done a mistake, as I'm not. Sometimes if we have these small minor mistakes, we give a wrong answer. The good part of Google Colab is that sometimes if we are doing, there's a mistake in the statement, it automatically detects and it gives. So here as well, the value is different. Sorry, the name is different. Something else. Yeah. So as will be profit, else or LF, or else my gas price. If I say my gas price is greater than 3, or greater or equals to 3, my statement would be print more profit. Let's say more profit, or if gas and scope price is greater or equals to 2, and I run as print no profit, no loss. Let's say I'm just giving it an argument, and else, or else I would say not acceptable. Print. Now I have given a statement saying that if my gas price is 1, whatever my gas price would be, my argument would be that if the gas price is above 3, then it's profitable. If it's equal or above 3, or something, wait, let me, greater than 3 or equal to, okay, that's fine, or equals to 3, it's more profit. Yeah, gas price Yeah. So, or else if it's equals to 2, then no profit, no loss. But if anything is below 2, so already the argument is that anything below this value is not acceptable. So my answer would be not acceptable. But there's some issue in the line. Ah, now it should not accepted, right? So it's because it's or if I make it 6, my answer should be more profit. Now, instead of me putting my argument or giving my argument in the input, if I say I'll give my argument in the output, I would just put int, and now I'm going to add a function called input. So this input would basically be output value, which you would see in the input. Would be the output which we will be adding as a number as a 6 or any number. So I will say enter a value, and I will say so just say enter gas price, and I'll just try to run this. So here I'll get enter gas price. I'll be putting 6, and then so I'll be putting 6, and then I'll just click enter. The answer will be more profit. I run it again. I'll say 2, and it was running, so it was a mistake. Enter. So no profit, no loss. So again, here what I've done is I've given a function as an input. So this will be my input argument in the output. So whatever, instead of me putting a value here, I can put my value directly on the outside. So this is we have done if, else, elif, or if sorry, if, elif, and else as a logic statements, and this is quite important when we try to give a logic behind our calculation, behind our equations and all that. Now I would go for loops. So loops is similar, but not same to logic and logic statements, because loop has for loops and while loop. Again, here you're saying, you're commanding the program that you want to do X, Y, Z, because you want the Python to do X, Y, Z, whatever you want to do. So if I give a name again now, or if I give a variable again now, saying gas is equals to, I'll say, let's say attendance is equals to 2479 something, and I'll say for. So I'm giving a loop value so that the code knows what I'm trying to gain out of it. And so I'm commanding it and saying for attendance. Sorry, now I'm giving another name. So for class, I mean this not for class, for SP hackathon, or say for SP hackathon in attendance, or I'll say attendance, so it automatically comes up. I'll say print. Now I'll give a state now. So I've used for, so I'll expect that I'm going for SP hackathon. I need this attendance as my output. So print attendance now. I should get these 2, 3, 4 values as my output in inner set as the output of this. Now here I wanted it in a single argument, so I'll have to change it. So I get it in 5 different ways. I don't get some. So in I wanted it in a single argument. I got it 5 times. I'll just see what type of components. Uh, Something else. Let's say team 5, 4, 6, 8. Then I'll say for match team. Sorry, I think that's the reason it came that print match. Yeah. So if I give my argument as my input variable, if I give my argument as my input variable, then in the previous way I would get it in a different. The output would be in a different way. But if I give my argument as for what I'm doing, I would get my output in my expected form. So for the team, so for the match, please tell me the team value. So please tell me the variable. So this is what I'm expecting the Python to give me. So for the match in team, so for the match for anything for a variable or for a function, for a specific element, for a specific element, if I want something from the variable, can you please tell me? So I just do that and get my output as this way. So this is the for loop which I've used now. I would again now use for loop again in a different way. So let me say 50, or let me say value is equals to 50. So I've given variable as a 50. Now I would say for stats in range. So I'm giving a range now. Now, as I said, range is one more thing which is important. It gives you a set of numbers where you can play around. So I'll just explain how it is done. So range is that's an object that produces a sequence of integers from starting to stopping. So I'm going to give a start which is let's say 1, and I'm going to give a stop value which is 25, 45, let's say, and then I'm going to say okay. Now my uh, output, which should be my output, I would expect it as equation, right? So I would say value, right? So I would say total is equals to how do I say now? Total is equals to my value multiplied by my statistics or stats. This is basically the argument or the initial function I'm trying to give for the Python to do it on its own. Then I'll say print, which is my output which I want to expect. So print the print my value and let's say plus, which because I'm plus my stats and is equals to, so as a table, let's say I'm trying to use it. I'll say product. Oh, sorry. I'll say total as my output. So I should expect a table which says 1 plus so and so or something, right? Yeah. So this is a table I have generated. So 50 plus 1, 51, 50 plus 2, 52, and so on and so on. If my argument, if I say it should be multiplication 1, so it goes for a table again. So it changes to a table again now. So here I have used for and I have used range as well. So for the statistics as an output, I have given this range and my value is 50. So for my output, which is total, so value multiplied my statistics. So my statistics is the range which I have given. So from 1 to 45 multiply 50, I'll just say multiply 50. That's what is my argument, right? So 15 to 1, 15 to 2, 15 to 3 till 45. So this is what I've given uh, as a loop for the code to do on its own. So this gives me as an output now. Uh, Another thing which I can do here again is now I'll say list value or list expression, anything you can say. Now again, I'm going back to the ones which we did with the data types. So now I'm going to give an argument which is from this value. So let's see how I do it. 5 minus 3 minus whatever and 24, right? So this is my list value I have given. So this is a variable I have given now for I, which is a statement I'm giving now. Well, now I'm going to give a loop in list value and I say run it. The print I, which is my input value plus some any number 34. So I should get an output. I should get an output of 1 plus 34, 5 plus 34, minus 2 plus 34, and so. Let's try. Right. So I have got 1 plus 34, 5 plus 34, and so on and so on. So here I have done the same thing, but it's just to a variable for a list. I have given for a list. I have given my argument saying that for this list at I just do the following. So I is basically this list, and 34 is what I'm telling to add. So that's what the code does for me. Now this is a for loop. Now I'll just go for while loop, and then I'll just define functions because we are having very less time. I don't know why. Sorry. Yeah. So now we have done for loop. Let's do while loop. This is similar to for loop, but it's just a bit of a different trick. So I would say a is equals to 1, just and understand. While a is lesser than 10 or lesser than 8 or lesser than 3, print a. I would just say print a. Just a print a as an argument, and I'll say a plus is equals to 1, because this what happens here is if I don't use this last argument, the code will keep on running the value and there'll be an error in the end. Some problem here. Yeah. No. It should be fine. So I have given an argument which, oh my God, it's going non-stop. So that's because of this. So this is what happens if you don't add this last a is equals to a plus or equals to the argument. I'm just saying that it should stop at this point. So now I'll only get 1, 2. If I say 1, 3, 4, it will go to 133. So it's just I'm giving a while loop. So I'm just giving a loop to stop it at this stage, rather than it goes non-stop. So if I again, as I showed last time, if I don't use this and I just say print, my a loop will go non-stop because it's not getting it's not knowing where to stop. So I just give a function a is plus or equals to 1. So now I execute it again, so it stops at 133. So again, this is a while loop. Similarly, we'll go for another example, which was similar to the tables which we have done earlier. I'll just cut short this one. Let me make it to 2. So now I would say number again. Number 1 is equals to 4. Count is equals to 1 or something, let's say. Change something. Value, not value, yeah. As element. And then I'll add the while loop here and say change is lesser or equals to 10. So I would say again I'm going to get an output definition, which I'll say used just an definition. So again I'll do the same thing which I've done earlier. Change multiplied by element, and then I'll say print same thing, print output should be change multiplied by x count, sorry, change element equals to used. Now if I do this again, there'll be the same problem, so I have to give a while break here. I'm not using break functions, but I'll just say element equals to element plus 1, or else the code would non-stop go up iterating. And if there's some syntax error again. That's a run value. I'm trying to run this. Says invalid syntax. This is weird. Let me try that. Okay, thank you. So yeah, guys, I mean, I wanted to do this, but we are running out of time, so it's better I jump into directly functions, because just keep doing this, it will take me some more time. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys, but if possible, I'll explain that later stages. Just again, I'm just giving a while loop, saying that with this statement, I want the same equation like this. So I give a set of values, and then I try to run that on the set of value which is equals to 20. So 1 multiplied by 20 or something like that. I wanted, that was my idea, but there was some syntax error. So I'll just quickly go to functions. So functions is nothing but it's just you need to define your own function. So you have two types of functions. You have an inbuilt function as well as you have your own user defined functions. Inbuilt functions or built-in functions are basically nothing but it's already there in Python. You just use them as we have done earlier. Like let's say print is one of the good example, I'll say. So yeah, now I'll say numbers is equals to 10, 50, 60, 55, 23, 12. This is what I have given as a number. So I just want to give a sum. So this is my numbers that I have given. So if I have to give a sum, what I do, I'll just say total is equals to. I'm giving so this is a built-in function which is sum. So just as the total. I don't need to do calculation here. So just sum numbers. So the total of that 5 numbers will get the answer. Print total is, which is my output. I want to get output, and I'll put total, or else I can even put total directly. I would get the same. So total is equals to wait. I just said total is equals to sum of numbers. I'll not use print here because I'm just, so I'll say total and I'll run. So I should get the total of that. So 150, right? So 32. I change, so I get a different number. Get a different number now. No, sorry, I have to run this again. Sorry. So I get a different number. So this is what the built-in functions are. So you have different types of built-in functions. But if I want to know what's this, so I had to do that earlier. But if I want to know what are these numbers, so is it a list, is it a tuple, is it a dictionary? I would just go to I would just say print just a total is equals to type numbers and I'll expect to do that again. So it says list most probably, right? Because this is a list. As I said, it's a square bracket, so it's a list. If I change this to tuple, it should come as tuple. But I want to work with list, so you get a tuple now. So it's not just about changing the square bracket, but the whole uh, value of the whole variable changes on that point. So let's carry now. If I want the maximum number again, let's say same thing, say max instead of so the maximum now 33. If I want a min, I would say minimum is or 10, I think, right? Yeah, 10. And yeah, that's how I would just carry on. Apart from that, if I want the length, which is how many numbers I have, I'll just click len len, and it should be 5. Right? If I make, I should get 7 now. Right? So this is basically an inbuilt function, very simple, very easy. We don't need to, I mean, it's very easy because we just have everything inbuilt. So we don't need to go much or do much of this. But always it's better we use our own functions. So we use user-defined functions, which are basically what I would make my own function rather than I would give a function to them. So if I say user-defined function, I would use the argument called def. So defining, I'm defining my own function, so I'll be using def hello or whatever. I say print. I don't know why print is not working, but hello, GeoHackathon, and I'll say print. Um, hello, oh wait, pardon, I didn't. I have to run the cursor again. I guess. Yes. It's coming to. Sorry about this. Right now it should work. Should. Ah, so. Run. Still opening. Okay, fine, good. Now I'll say uh, now I'll say hello. That is what I would expect. Hello, and I should say get GeoHackathon. This is my output. So this is my own built-in function which I've done. So hello is equals to GeoHackathon. Similarly, if I give a name to this as well, so I'll say uh, how do I say diff bootcamp Python or bootcamp name, okay, and then I would say bootcamp name. Name print, and I would say SPE comma name, right? And I'll say print. It's fine. I'll just print this. So if I say SPE, sorry, if I say bootcamp Python, I should get SPE bootcamp Python or SPE. Now it should work. SP Python, right? So I have given my function as a bootcamp to the name, then it's SP Python or anything. If I say engineering or anything, it's just I'm giving a definition again. Similarly, I would give now a calculation function. So we are running out of time, guys. So it's need to be quick, and then we would just go for a simple big example, and then I'll just give a short brief of a library. Then PE engineering, and then I'll say diff adding number. I'll say value 1 comma value 2, and then I'll say run. My result is equals to value 1 plus value 2. I'll say print result is result. Okay, and I should expect. Okay, now what I do is my value 1 is equals to 12, value 2, value 2 is equals to 15, right? So I should get a total of given argument adding uh, adding giving two values, so I should expect values. Print if I give a definition, it should go 12, 2 is equals to 12, 14. I would just say adding, because this is my function, or I'll say 4, 4, or I'll say 8. Leave it. Num1, num2, adding num1, comma num2. So I should get 12 plus 14. So my result is 36. So this is what I've done. So here my argument have already here I have given already a function. So this is what the function does. So directly we give an argument here. Now we would head over to our example where we would consider everything. We'll consider a loop, we'll consider the logic statement, and the rest of everything. So let's say finding an average production of a well. Okay, let's say define prod wells rate, and I would say my name of the rate is rate BPD, and total for prod is equals to sum of rate BPD. So my BPD is my the value which I would expect to add it or work on it. So number of wells is equals to the length. How many wells I have? That's again rate BPD, and I think we're very short of time. Prod is equals to total. So I'm just dividing my total number of wells divided by number of total production divided by number of wells. Then I'll add the value called return. So this return function is similar to print, but print it just gives the output, but return returns the value to what we are expecting. Like let's say the average. This is what we want. So average production, right? So this is my argument value is average production, right? So now I would again then what I would do is I would just give my rate BPD a name or a list 100 500, 200, 233, 1000 something, somewhere. And then I'll say average, again, production is equals to average. So this average prod, which is my equation, I'm just giving it I'm just trying to get output of it. Average production is prod underscore wells underscore rate turning off RBP. So this is my argument, which is what my function is in the top, define, and I'll say print average value, comma, average underscore prod. So average prod is my output. This is the output. This is my function, and this is the equation which I've done. So I run it. So I should get a value. Syntax error. I think this is should get a number. Another argument. Say we are running out of time, but let me give another argument instead of this. So diff expected average prod if average is greater than to 600 or 500. Because I'm running out of time, I'm just going a bit quicker. Sorry about this. Product profit. LF average underscore prod is greater or equals to 550. Then prod equals to till profit and average underscore greater or equals to 400. Prod equals to what do we say? No profit. And else prod equals to profit. And my return argument here is return is prod. Now what I've done, I'll just say prod expected average out of the average prod and print expected decision is prod. I think I should get an output here something. Finally, go down. I should do this one. All right. So, well, this doesn't work. I'll have to see. I'll do, but that's the only way. Again, copy paste it. Now it should work. Yeah. So finally, yeah, average production is so much, and expected decision is no profit models. So if I change my values to different numbers, yeah, it's working. All right, say 67. Yeah. So here what I have done is I've just defined my production and I have done a small calculation, which is my total production divided by number of wells. So I have 5 wells, my total production. So total of this divided by 5 is this answer. And as I have given an argument saying that if anything above so much is profit, so much, and so and so. So the answer is not profitable. But if I change this and run it this way, the answer is profitable. So it's just a final understanding of how you use a function based on your data types and your logic statements. So this is how we would do as a common understanding of the basics of Python. I think now we are literally out of time. Or do we have more time? I don't know about this. Once. I think we are out of time. Guys, any questions? You can unmute yourself. 1 minute. Sorry. Uh, sorry. I'm just pausing the. Wait. Sorry, I didn't get you, Mohammed Etia. With us the workspace. I didn't get that. Workspace. Yeah, I think I'll be sharing my code and the PPT as well with Javed and others. So I think you'll get everything. I mean, I have a little more I wanted to explain, but I could not because of the time. But yeah, there'll be a lot of things more in the code you can learn. There's another how do you make a calculator, how do you make a different equation, how do you add libraries, import libraries is there as well. So I think I'll be sharing that with you guys. If you have any other questions, also you can email SB your hackathon about this bootcamp.